This video is sponsored by War Daddy Miniatures.
We fought well, Stephen, but we've lost too many troops. We're not winning this war now. We all know our owner is too slow at painting. He'll never replenish the ranks in time.
You fool, Stanley. We simply need to visit War Daddy Miniatures.
What? Explain.
It's quite simple. If you're looking for quality painted miniatures delivered quickly to your door, War Daddy is the only way to go. They have a huge range of 40k, bolt action, AOS, and Middle Earth. Over 5,000 listings and new models are added every day. You never know when we might find the next squad we need.
Next, you'll be telling me they ship worldwide.
Well, of course they do. They even buy unwanted armies, so you don't have to deal with the hassle of selling anything privately yourself.
Emperor's bowels.
I mean, once you scroll past all of the Xeno and the Chaos filth, there's really some wonderful units that might be of service. I am particular to this Raptor Invictor warsuit. So if you're on the lookout to get yourself some new miniatures, painted and on the table in no time, all you need to do is visit War Daddy Miniatures. If you're browsing their eBay store and you find anything you particularly like, if you order through the website directly, you get 10% off. So click the link in the description now.
Hi, I'm Peachy.
Hello, I'm Patrick.
Hi, I'm Jeff, and on her behalf, that's Bella.
That's Bella. Bella's here.
In shot this time.
Yeah, because she can't answer for herself, bless her.
So we're back. It's another week. It's just the three of us. Just the three of us. And we're talking about teeny tiny men.
It's finally
Not
here.
me or you, obviously.
Yeah,
Definitely,
Jeff's
not,
not teeny
definitely
tiny.
not me. I've been called many things in my life. Teeny tiny's never been one of them.
Tiny. Well, I mean, Little John.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
maybe.
it's just
Oh, he
a
was
joke, isn't it?
he was a big lad, wasn't
Apparently.
he?
I mean,
Yeah,
I wasn't there at the time. Jeff was, because
Yeah, well, I was
he signed
there,
the Magna Carta, didn't he?
he? I hated working for the show for Nottingham. What a kid.
Yeah, heard about it. So yeah, I keep wanting to call it Epic and Adeptus Titanicus and Epic 40k and Space Marine, but it's not that, is it? What's the new product called? Because I can't remember it because it's such a weird name.
Is it Legionis Imperialis?
Is that it?
Something like that?
Let's go with that.
It sounds good with
Yeah.
that voice.
Is that
Epic. It's epic.
Oh, I need to do it in my dramatic reading voice.
Oh, please do. Yeah.
I think you'll find it. No, I don't. Cause I don't. Yeah, Legion Imperialis, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
So it's epic, but the question is it epic?
Ooh.
Oh.
Is Warhammer over?
Is Warhammer over? Yeah.
Is Games Workshop
Exclamation
done for?
mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
Yeah.
What do you mean by is it epic?
Well, is it any good? There seems to be. You put out a feel-out remark on the community on YouTube, didn't you?
Yes.
I love
And,
when Pat puts his feelers out.
Oh, it's all right, except when you're not expecting it.
No, especially in the toilet, you don't expect it. Like, what the hell?
You go to sit in the couch to go up. Got his feelers out again.
I always ask for consent.
You did
Always.
this time, didn't you?
No, I always
was a
do.
surprise.
Yeah.
So yeah, what was the consensus? I saw quite a lot just with simple responses like no.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, there was plenty of people
who.
who weren't spending a lot of time on replies, I thought, on that community post.
Yeah. No, it was interesting because I was like, "Oh, Teeny Tiny Soldiers are up for pre-orders today." Like, who else is excited? Here's an affiliate link. Yeah, like quite a few people were like, "Yeah, super excited." Others kind of going, "If it was 40k, I'd be keen."
Yeah.
Which I think is something that I'd definitely like to talk about because I'm unfamiliar with the epic of back in day.
Back in day.
Yeah. So and a few people were saying quibbling about like the price.
Yeah.
Which is quite standard, but with it being a new game, I wonder if and it's like really, really tiny. I'm not even sure what you get in the box. Yeah.
Lots of Marines by the looks of it.
Well, less in the box
Yeah.
than they originally showed you, didn't you? Remember they put a photograph out, didn't they, with three tanks, and then had to go back and go, oh, they're not actually in the box. They did a big photo shoot, and they had three.
Oh, you have to buy them extra, right?
But they were on the photograph as though they were in the box, and then they had to double back and go,
Interesting.
not them ones.
So I mean, I've been around the hobby for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember my brother getting this set. I don't have the full box anymore, and all the buildings, the polystyrene buildings, which is a shame. But this is the rule book. This is the original Adeptus Titanicus rule book, which also features lots of teeny tiny men, which we might take some photos of. But you've got your colour things, lots of pictures of Titans and War Machines and Phantom Titans and etc. and etc. And in my head, I remember that being Horus Heresy related. But looking now, and it says Adeptus Titanicus and the Space Marine. It's because Adeptus Titanicus, when it came out, was just the Titans fighting each other, and then they did the Space Marine edition, which had like lots of teeny tiny men. So Adeptus Titanicus seemed at the time was like Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
And then when they did the Space Marine thing, it included Eldar and Orcs. So you got like plastic Orcs, plastic Eldar, and obviously all the upgrades. And then as time went on, they did Epic 40k, which was then 40k.
Yeah.
So part of me thinks that when it first started, it was Horus Heresy related, but that was like of its time, and there wasn't that much around from like that kind of product side of it. It was just like big walking Titans and stuff.
Yeah.
Then they added some little like figures and things. So in my head, it's like, why isn't it 40k? Why is it Horus Heresy? You know, is that the right choice? Is that the wrong choice? I mean, you know, people like Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
But some people don't.
Because I think like the what I've sort of heard people talk about either like on the post that we put out or little bits and bobs is, I guess, like I mean, I don't know how much truth there is in it, but they're sort of saying that Horus Heresy currently feels quite unsupported. Why are they making another Horus Heresy game?
Yeah, it's just tinier.
Yeah, and if it was 40k, I guess if it's all Marines, you just have to make one box and then you can paint them whatever colour you want, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if they Orcs, Eldar, this, that, and the other, like, is Horus Heresy the quicker version to get it to market?
Yeah.
And easier to support. But then also, if they did eventually go back into 40k, they're going to have to redo all the Marines because they're all like Heresy era
of course.
stuff, aren't they?
Heresy era. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be. It could be all the times before the Indomitors Crusade.
Okay, yeah.
You don't have to just feel that, because the Primaris are pretty much like later on, 41st millennium. So there's at least 10,000 years of like that kind of armor, so you'd be fine.
I'd love to see all of the YouTube videos that would come out where they were like, how do Primaris epic scale Marines measure up to Horus Heresy ones?
Well, wouldn't it be, looking at them, wouldn't it be that you just use firstborn Marines to be epic Marine, epic Primaris?
I was thinking you just get the old Space Marine plastic Marines and then just say the new Horus Heresy ones are Primaris because they're like, what, 10 mil versus 6 mil?
Yeah.
So if you've got your old armors, just use them.
So was old epic bigger?
Oh, no, smaller.
Oh, smaller.
So it was like, I think 6 mil, I think these are 10 mil or 12. No, I think they're 10. They're not 12. They're definitely not 12. But old epic was much smaller, much more compact.
Yeah.
Which suited the engineering and the moulding process at the time.
I've still got one of them sitting around. I need to use them. My mate gave me one of the old Epic Marines, which I need to cut the base off because I'm going to. I'm not. You know, loads of people have done it, but I'm going to do it as well. Is that put him in as a hologram Marine for the Intercessor Sergeant's comlink to have it look like it's like the idea there, which is quite cool. But
I mean, it looks nice. It looks good.
Yeah,
I'm excited by it. You made a good point, like with the Aeronautica Imperialis. You know, they had all the other alien races, and now they've like removed that from sale, so you only get the stuff that's relevant to Horus Heresy. But then, I suppose with Old World, you know, we got rid of. I say we. I'm still there.
You were there at the time.
Yeah. At the time, I'm we.
Yeah.
You got rid of Bretonnians and Khemri and stuff like that, and now obviously the Bretonnians are coming back. All the plastics are obviously being showcased and stuff. So you know the tools are still there. So there's a chance that they might come back. But I remember Duncan, and I never got involved in it. Duncan and the gaming group did Horus Heresy as a game, and it sounded dull. Because I mean, they all had fun. It was all narrative because they were getting excited by the books.
Yeah.
But it was just Marines smacking Marines, and the games took so long because it's like, I've got this weapon. I've got to get this on your arm, and I've got this weapon. I've got to get, and the tactics were the same. And like every now and again, someone like might make a squad that's full of plasma guns, but it just sounded like pulling teeth when it came to wargaming.
The only good thing is, you know, sometimes if you're playing against somebody who's got quite a distinctively different army, and then you think, I don't want to go to my book and go, What do they hit on? What do they? You think at least your mate will just go, well, it's this because I know because I'm about to do it to you as well.
So there's the benefits of that. So like, you know, you've got the same sort of like stats. So you roughly know what's going to be hit. But then after like the 15th game in the campaign, it gets a bit tiring.
Oh, you know, you're saying about the fact that people feel like that Horus Heresy itself isn't massively supported. It's the thing that gets me is you go, in some ways it's ridiculously supported because you can't open Warhammer Community without there being a new captain or the new special weapons team or whatever. But you go
upgrades, as we've seen.
Upgrades, yeah. But it's just constantly just marine after marine after marine, isn't it? And you think, I think it'll feel a bit more supported when they bring other things into it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much there is for you to bring in. Is the you're going to bring in
orcs were there, so eventually.
Oh yeah, you could bring in potentially
maybe
orcs. But yeah,
Eldar.
I think it's Adeptus Mechanicus in its earlier variant and Solar Auxiliary, is it? The Imperial version of Imperial Guard. But after that, I start to get a little bit more. I start to feel like I'm scraping the barrel a little bit, trying to figure out who else we would include, because obviously not a lot of the aliens are talked about, are they really, in the Horus Heresy?
Yeah, because there's lots of interesting like alien races in the books that obviously don't last very long because the first chapter they get wiped out or whatever.
Right, okay.
Because they just annihilated in the Great Crusade. But I mean, I see its merits and it makes sense. Like you say, you get the box that you can paint it all as one colour scheme. That's sorted. You got your army done. But it would be nice to see some other stuff, and I guess that will be like down the line. But if you're into Horus Heresy currently and you've only got a small space to play, you could do a couple of squads and then just do epic, so it gives a sense of like perspective on the battlefield. So
I pre-ordered the box. So
nice.
Because I got the email from Element Games and I was like, maybe we'll make a video. I don't know.
I think we should. It'd be fun.
Got that, but then it wasn't really in my head to be like, oh yeah, we could just do some really cool like force perspective and like have like a Primaris Marine or whatever at the front going back into a cool battlefield. There's an amazing artist on Instagram. I think he's a German chap, and he makes
Roman Lappet.
That's the badge.
Yeah. I know where you're going.
Yeah, because he has everything in frames, doesn't he?
It's really cool.
I've seen some of that. He did the Sisters of Battle recently, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, his work is amazing.
I probably murdered his name as well. It's probably like Lapar.
Yeah,
it's a silent T.
Yeah, and it's brilliant. And I wonder if I hope that he either buys a box or gets sent a box so he can do, because usually I think he paints the backgrounds. So then if he put tiny tanks and had like a little bit more depth.
Well, if you take the old sort of cover art from like 40k second edition, where it's like the Blood Angel Marine, you got all the orcs and all the guys in the background,
That's
and even
really
like the
cool.
Black Templar one with all the guys in the background.
That'd look pretty cool, wouldn't it?
That'd be great. Nice.
I think that'd be awesome. Yeah, maybe there's legs to make like a diorama, but like with.
Well, you do like the rolling hill, so you have like a bit of a hill, and then you have it dip down, and then in the background you have another bit coming up.
Oh,
yeah, that works. I'm into that.
Yeah.
Because when I saw them, I mean, like your idea of like doing it as a scanner thing's genius.
Yeah.
So you could do like little in Kill Team. Well, we didn't get the set, but you got that Kill Team sort of like.
Oh yeah, the hologram board.
Hologram table, so you could have like bits coming out where it's just like Marines or specs or stuff like that. That'd be
Do you know, talk about perspective, or just while I put it in my head, talking to there's a dad and a mum who I speak to on the school run, and they've just been to Disney in the States during the October half term, and they got themselves all really weirdly turned round, and they ended up in the staff car park at Disney, and when they got out, and before they realised they were in the wrong place, he said there was just this massive big pylon just out sticking out the ground that didn't have any wires or anything connected to it. And he said, and he was walking towards it, he thought, what the hell is that? And what is that at the top of it? And he was just, what is it? And he walked past it, turned around, looked up, and it was just a chunk of mountain. And then they moved into the right car park, went in, and when they went to Star Wars Galaxy Edge, and then when they were looking at the distance, he said, there was the mountain that was stood in the car park.
Oh, amazing.
I thought, how cool's that?
Genius.
Wow.
So you must imagine somewhere else there's more mountains nearer in another car park or in,
and they've like
on the top of a warehouse in the background or something.
So that they've like, I guess, planned it. When you're stood here, you'll be able to see. We only need to make that proportion of the mountain.
Yeah. I thought
Um,
just so clever.
Very clever.
Because I like that diorama, like in my head, like if there was a guy like with, I don't know, with a sword in the air, like just like charge, and then all the tiny army in the background, like that would be
Definitely from
That
like
would be epic.
hobby, hobby like kit bashing and not kit bashing, but like creating like cool dioramas and stuff. It definitely lends so much extra material for folks like that, and me as well. I mean, I'd love to do like some small scale dioramas. That'd be quite good.
Do you know, I suppose as well, if you're limited for space and you didn't really particularly like the rule set for the new game, you could just play small. You could just play small Horus Heresy, couldn't you?
Small kill team.
Or kill team.
Yeah, I used to
kill team.
I used to buy these sets and play army soldiers with them when I was a kid, because I just love dinky little toy soldiers, and I had like a box of Eldar, and you get like a couple of grav tanks, and then there was like 50 little Eldar figures. So when you're a kid and you get like your Airfix figures, you get about like 20, 30 in the box, whereas here you're getting hundreds, and it looked great. So yeah, you could totally do like 40k or kill team, small kill team. Travel kill team.
Oh, there you go. Kill team on a train.
How would you individually base the miniatures? I wonder.
That's tomorrow's problem.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah.
What?
Maybe drawing pins.
I was going to say that. Just cut the spike off a drawing pin.
Yeah.
Or off the top of a nail. Something like that.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
You
interesting.
get little plastic things like that.
I think like more than anything with
There'll be somebody already now going, I'm going to 3D print these so you can do them individually.
You get hole punches, plastic card.
Yeah.
Make your own.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, great idea. Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah.
So how big would a kill team board be? Would it be about that?
I love it. I mean, that's the whole reason. Like
travel kill team needs to exist, doesn't it?
The Perriers did Travel Battle, which was the Napoleonic.
Yeah.
You can travel and play.
Yeah.
Which is really small. And then Warlord Games have done, I think, a similar scale to the new, what's it called?
Legion Imperialis.
Thank you. And you could literally play like black powder on your dining room table. You don't need a 12x4 board and like hundreds of troops. You can just. So I like that because it's for space and you could just make grander armies. Harder to paint though. But then there's always ways around painting those things.
I like the idea of two guys on a train going to a kill team tournament, just going, let's just check these tactics.
Yeah.
Baby kill teamers just going, there we go. Oh, that does work.
But that's really good for like testing. Like, you don't have to spend ages like painting the things. You just like spray them with colours and like, right, does this build work? We're gonna not go for inches. We're gonna go for like centimeters or like half centimeters or whatever.
I wonder what if we came up with the name for, like a knockoff
Kill Squad.
Kill Squad.
Kill
I was
Squad.
going to say Death Squad. Travel Death Team.
Put your suggestions in the comments.
And they have to be terrible.
We'll sell it through Aldi. It'll fit in perfectly.
Oh, it can be in Aldi and Lidl have a bidding war. To get Travel Death Team Squad in the middle aisle next to the step ladders.
Next to step ladders and the petrol chainsaws.
Yeah. And you're like, can I buy any cutlery in this supermarket? No.
I'm all about that. I mean, the naming conventions for Audi and stuff. They even have their own like range of Crocs, which are just called Audi. They're just called Audi. Their own range of Crocs called Audi. I love it.
just thought you'd just called them Gators, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Well,
maybe that must be already
Gators are
taken.
copywritten.
Damn it.
Gators are Gators are the waterproof things that you put over your walking boots.
Yeah.
And they go up to your like.
We used to wear them. We used to wear them in Northern Ireland. Yeah.
And that's funny.
I didn't realise they were copyrighted because I know that term Gator is just an old.
I think it's a brand.
It's like
the word glove, isn't it?
But spelled differently though.
Yeah, with G with an I, isn't it?
Yeah. So
as in like gait, as in like a movement of walking. Spelled that way. But yeah, I think that's it. We need to get onto Travel Death Squad and see if we can get Aldi to run it.
I love it. I'm all about that.
With tiny miniatures.
Well, we just like come up with a couple little boards, come up with some little scenery, and just pitch it, and then just get like My Mini Factory to like print it out.
Because they said they want to be able to get so you can make a game.
And also we've got to have a Jeff Peachy in there.
Yeah, of course.
Special figures that are released in the certain box sets.
We need the additional revenue from the add-on boxes.
Of course.
So we could sell the base Travel Death Team Squad. but then you can get your upgrade sprues.
What you'd want is, wouldn't you? We'd want them so that the board could fold in half and had all little slots in it, so that when you opened it up like that, all your scenery was just pop up.
Oh my God, yes.
And everything's magnetized. Everything's
Yeah,
magnetized.
so it doesn't matter if the train's a bit ropey.
So you could be halfway through your game and go, guys, we're going to have to pack up because we're nearly at the stop.
Yeah.
And then you continue on the way back because nothing's moved.
Oh, well, I love the pop-up scenery idea though, because then I'm just pound signs blinking in my eyes.
We're giving all our secrets away.
Yeah,
I know, you know.
Is it be like, oh, like what you could sell, you know, in the base Travel Death Team Squad? It comes
It
with
just rolls off the tongue.
It's
doesn't
getting
it?
longer. I'm sure his name's getting longer.
Travel Death Team Squad match. You have, I don't know, like a foldable magnet board thing that, I don't know, because you like people do in the travel cases, right? They put like a sheet of magnetic something and then they magnetize the stuff. So if the bases of the miniatures are metal, then they'll stick to that. But if you could have a card like inserts that you put on top, the magnet's strong enough that it can magnetize through. So you could go, what came in the starter box of Travel Death Team Squad match? This one is like inside of Necromunda. This one is Desert Waste.
I like
and
this.
It's like, and then you could sell along with like us in the thing. You could go, the scenery pack as well.
Yeah.
And you
Well,
get
I think
5
what you
more
want to do, if you're really thinking pound signs, I wouldn't put us all in one pack. I think you'd only put one of us in each edition.
So I've been getting excited. I'm just going to quickly sidetrack, just quickly. So I've been looking at like the Hero Quest upgrade sets because I'm thinking I'd love to get the new Hero Quest, and there's loads, and there's just one which is just a rogue. It's just a little set for like £8, and you get a rogue and the card, and that's some extra equipment. So you could just do like Door Gunner Jeff.
Yeah, Door Gunner Jeff. That's it.
Door Gunner Jeff. You could have Ventrilian Peach, and then Iron Hand Patrick, or whatever you want to be. Not Iron Hand, Iron Warrior Patrick.
Yeah.
And I've also just come up with a name for it.
Hazard Strike Pat.
Mini Kill. Because they're minis and they kill, but they're also mini.
I think Travel Death Team Squad is just a better name.
Edition 1.
I'm not going to stand. Yeah. Mini Kill's like the offshoot.
Yeah. No.
I've
Yeah.
got another idea, right? Another idea is because everything's magnetized.
Yeah.
You have your board. It kind of like folds out as well, so you have like little legs that come underneath your board. So it's like a little trestle table
Oh, yeah.
with void, so you can get your hands underneath, and you have a magnet, so you don't actually move your figures.
Just move them around on the
Thematically,
magnet
they move
underneath.
themselves
Oh.
underneath.
That's very interesting. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, right then. As soon as we get off this episode, get on to that patents lawyer.
Yeah.
And anyone else in the comments that wants to see name, please.
Travel Death Team Squad. I mean, crikey, if Games Workshop can get away with Legion Imperialis, like, we can have Travel Death Team Squad. Yeah. Or at least, like, we could make a spoof advert for it for like April Fools, and we could use like,
well, Christmas is coming. We can get all the kids excited.
yeah, that would be so fun. Because you could build it on a travel chess board.
You could, yeah.
I reckon,
Right.
because then that technology already exists. Then we just have to somehow become proficient in making pop-up scenery.
Easy. There's loads of paper experts out there that know about pop-ups.
Easy.
Just
Yeah.
get graphic designers and stuff, and then you can 3D print extra products. Because looking at those Tanith things that you've got there, they're pretty sexy. You can do
Yes.
like Kill Team with Tanith. You can then do Necromunda, small scale Necromunda. Rolling roads. You can actually have.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
Or the road
And it pops up as it comes along.
Yeah.
Like background Scooby-Doo scenery.
Yes.
All
So
about this. We need to make it.
yeah.
Sorry, Bella.
So yeah, I guess in that scenario, the road would be stationary, but the scenery in the
The scenery
background
would move.
could
Yeah.
move.
Well, well, you have a different device for rolling road scenarios. You have a conveyor belt system.
Yeah.
You have a little
Little
turner, and it's just a road, and you can replace that. It's like a fan belt. You just
Yeah.
replace it
Yeah.
with different roads and different backgrounds. But then all the card is like it just flops up as it comes
Yeah.
up. It just
Yeah.
flops up. So not the card, the scenery.
Yeah,
And
that
it's-
sounds more engineered. more.
It's really simple.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll keep that for year 2.
We just play cars and get the fan belts. That's all we do.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah. Because there's an amazing a guy on TikTok or Instagram or something, and he does reels where he puts toy cars
I've seen this.
on treadmills.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Who's gonna win?
who's gonna win?
Yeah.
Is it this guy from Cars or a can of Red Bull?
Because he does like,
I'm like, I'm here
Avengers
for it.
ones. It's like a load of like Avenger characters.
Yeah.
And just like Fast and Furious characters.
Yeah.
And he finds
Yeah.
the cars because there is like a load of Hot Wheels sort of Fast
Yeah,
and
they
Furious.
do like
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
franchise ones, don't they?
And then there's like Star Wars themed Hot Wheels, and he's got like versions of those. I love it. And also, I'm just like, how are some slower than others or not being able to catch up? That I find fascinating. You have them all lined up, and as it starts going, some just seem to just go off. It's amazing.
I think one of the things I was most fascinated with once was watching. Did you see when a guy did that thing where he carved in the whole route down a beach and just had marble racing?
Yeah,
God, I
yeah.
was absolutely fascinated by it.
It's great.
I remember
I love these things. Yeah, and I was going to say with the cars, but also with the marbles. Like if one car knocks into another one and it gets taken out, and you're like, oh, he was robbed. Like I proper get into it. Yeah, it's brilliant.
So when there's Mega Death Kill Squad coming out then? Or was it Mega Squad Death Kill? Or was it Mega Squad Kill Death? I forget what it's called now.
I've forgotten. I've got to find the audio and insert it now. Travel Death Team Squad. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I might forget.
Still a great name.
I'll write a time code down.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited, but I'm also not I'm not going to rush out and buy it, the new set. Hopefully they'll do little box sets, and I might get interested in like building a couple and painting them.
Yeah.
Get some nostalgic hits.
Yeah.
I also keep meaning to do some Titans as well, because I've got the rules at home. And I've always liked the idea of just building a Titan and playing it. But
Yeah.
my thing is I like to build and paint stuff that's relevant to any kind of system I can use it in. So that's why I keep it to like 40k, Kill Team, Necromunda. I can use it in all those game systems.
Yeah.
Whereas this is very divergent from that. But still, it looks a bit
What's
fun.
the price of it? Do you know?
Well, on Element Games, which I guess now that this has come out and everything, it will be out of stock. I think they did it. I picked it up for £96.
96 quid.
I think if it was on GW, it was 120.
Well, that's still like
I think-
around the
I'll double check.
box set
That's
price.
the same price
It
of
is.
Age of Darkness, isn't it?
How many
Was
figures you get?
no, it was Age of
no,
Darkness
that
about
was
180,
bigger.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you remember off the top of your head how many figures roughly? Is it like hundreds of figures, thousands of figures?
I'd be wanting thousands of figures for that much.
I don't think like in my head.
I don't think it's that
looking
big.
at
It's
the
not that
picture,
much in
it's
it, if I remember rightly.
It's not that big. I think you get like 4 or 5 squads of Marines,
Oh, really?
and a dreadnought and some other bits. I'm
but
gonna.
no tanks.
Well, there's tanks, but not quite as many as they initially told you there was.
Oh yes. So what was that in a picture or something? They had to backtrack. Yeah.
Was
I
that
can't remember
is
if
the
we talked
Kratos
about.
tank? The one which is sort of sloped at the front.
Oh,
They
yeah,
had
my
3 of them.
Forge World knowledge of
No,
vehicles
I'm
is-
not great. I think they had 3 of them in the box as well, and they
Yeah.
were like, not them.
Because I remember when they redid the plastic Predator, and that's got a name now. And I was like, it's just a Predator, and it's like, no, it's a special name. I'm like, oh, okay, then cool. I just remember it being called a Predator when I was a kid.
Okay, so you get in the box. Oh no, I was a bit looking at the wrong pictures. I think so. You get 2. Is it Warhound Titans?
Oh, you get some Titans in it.
So well, it includes 223 epic scale plastic Citadel miniatures.
That's an odd
so-
number. How is there an odd number in there?
I don't know. So you get. I mean, yeah,
Let's hope that odd number isn't Titans. That'd be a
Yeah.
bit of disappointment when
Because there's 2
when you're
Titans.
playing with your mate, wouldn't it?
You get 2 Titans.
And if everything else is the same sprue duplicate, you'll only get like evens, surely.
Yeah, I think maybe on the bases there's some that are single, there's some that are doubles. There might be
Okay.
like a command squad that's like a 3 or something like that.
But then if you have 2 sets, because you want goodies and baddies, right? Then that'll make it. I'm very confused. Hello. How is Bella?
Woof.
I'm all right, thank you. I'm all right. Get you on my belly.
I didn't know she was a Cockney.
Yeah. I like
Well,
to
it's
sell
easier-
5 cigarette lighters for £1 at the weekend. That's what I like to do.
Well, it's better than doing the Italian accent that she might probably be better off with. Yeah, you don't want to get her down to cultural appropriation routes.
Oh yeah. Oh, did you guys see it again? Sidetrack. There was a somebody put in like "Angels of Death" into Google Translate and got it to pronounce it in Italian, and then they got audio of really angry Italian men and put mustaches on pictures of Angels of Death, and it's just them going, "Hey, there!" and it's just
seen
like
that, no.
it's just such a stereotype. But
you know what?
I
That's
did
but
giggle.
you know when you think about the way, if you think about what Sanguinius looked like, he looks a little bit Leonardo da Vinci painted, sort of
Yeah.
ceiling like.
it's
So
not
I
a
would
way to
imagine them
isn't
being.
it? Yeah.
If you had to assign nationalities to them, I would go with Angels of Death being Italian.
No, wait, sorry.
You got a
I
certain
co- I
amount of
cocked it up.
style.
No,
The classic and Rococo
who-
movement.
Yeah.
yeah, I always forget. Hello, Doc. Who does the lion? What's the Fallen?
Dark
Those
Angels.
boys. Yeah, so I think it might have been Dark Angels. Sorry.
Oh, Dark Angels.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what nationality to give Dark Angels.
They're like forests, the knights. I reckon French.
Yeah, French.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe Germans.
But do you remember though? Remember back in the day, and this will be this one will have Pat sort of going, what? Do you remember way back with Dark Angels, that when it used to come to the Deathwing, they sort of gave the impression they were Native Americans,
Yeah,
didn't they?
yeah.
They had feathers on them.
Well, it was the way.
They used to have they had this slightly weird. They could be Native Americans, but only the Terminators. So the rest of Dark Angels didn't wear any of the feathers.
Because that was the impression, but then when you like delved into it, it's like, oh yeah, because it's like a wing, isn't it? It's the death wing. It's got feathers.
Yeah.
But the
right,
style of feather looks like,
Like
the
it would-
chieftains.
Yeah,
like,
they used to have them on
headdress
their.
and stuff like that.
They used to have them on their armor and stuff, which was a
yeah.
bit of a strange one.
Yeah.
Maybe they were all recruited from them other guys, or they also wrote out a Necromunda.
Oh, you mean the Ratskins?
The Ratskins, who were Native Americans as well.
Yeah.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because GW, I think, has shied away from doing more sort of. This is definitely based on this culture.
It's still there with, I think, still very much there with White Scars, isn't it?
Yeah.
And with the
Yeah.
Space Wolves.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because the White Scars, because they do that thing a lot where they incorporate the commanders having
But I mean,
birds of prey, don't they? Which the Mongols do. They will often have a bird of
we're
prey.
asking suggesting the wrong thing here, but isn't that quite cool though that you're basing a
I think
futuristic
it's really
army
cool.
on
Yeah.
like a well-known historical army that trudged across Europe? It kind of makes sense that you're like,
Yeah.
and there's arguments like cultural appropriation, all this that kind of thing, and like, oh, it's a stereotype. It's like, but people collected Mongolians and Huns because they're cool. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're all on horseback. So
And space Ultramarines still have a real Roman slant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I guess like maybe if it's far enough in the past and
Yeah.
because crikey, there was memes going around being like, how frequently do you think about
Yeah,
the
you know,
Roman
if you
Empire?
came out with a Space Marine unit, if you came out with a Space Marine chapter and they were all Rastafarian, you could go, maybe that's not a great
One
move,
thing
but
I've
you know
always
what I mean.
fancied doing actually, and it's something that I don't know, like, is this dangerous or not? Is like Zulu themed Space Marines. So you have like the shield that you get like
Big skin shield.
Yeah, you see that style of shield with the patterning on it.
Yeah.
And you have like impies instead of companies, because I think that's the how they refer to the
Yeah,
to the
as
units
far
and
as I
stuff.
remember it was.
So like Black Panther, when they were making that, they think they coined. Well, I don't think they coined the term, but is it Afrofuturism or something like
wow,
that?
that's
a good
Where
term.
it was kind of like taking notes of African culture and architecture now, but what would it look like in a sci-fi universe? So maybe that would be really
quite
interesting.
cool.
Like 52 miniatures. His female space marine print.
Yeah.
That he sent us.
yeah.
That was that sort of ilk.
Do you know what'd be cool? Don't get me wrong. Your your free hands would have to be good, but wouldn't if you did it on their armor and then did it on their heads with no helmets on? Imagine Maori Space Marines.
Yeah,
with all of that,
yeah.
all of that.
Oh yeah.
No, I can't. Someone on Instagram, and I'm sure someone mentioned it recently, but someone has done like influenced African tribes into a space marine of some kind. I'll have to try and find out who it
Well,
was. because it sounds awesome.
There's that guy, I can't remember his name, and then I was really stoked when I seen some in the flesh at Element in Stockport. There's the guy that converts all of the Marines into being Native American. And they're all like, all the armor's like a terracotta colour.
Yeah.
And they've all got tabards, but all the tabards look like Native American weave blanket.
Wow,
and he does them with feathers, and he does, and they are really, really good.
Yeah.
They're really, really good. You know, I think if you, I can't say as a Native American because I'm not one, but I think if I like to think if I looked at them and I think they're cool.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
look at them and go, oh, feathers. I think they look.
Yeah.
Like he's caught the
how
idea.
you
A
do
lot
it,
of
isn't it?
markings on the
Yeah,
armor and
yeah.
stuff. And
Be sympathetic to like a
yeah,
culture as
and
opposed to, like,
but
maybe-
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the chap. I hope he's watching. If you are watching, your stuff's lovely. It's really cool. Yeah, he really goes to town on them.
Yeah, because is it a lot of the? I mean, maybe it's not like I'm looking into it too much, or just like because was it with the guard? They got rid of a lot of the guard regiments, didn't they? Like like when you did the Desert Raiders.
Yes,
like they're gone, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then
I think that's more down to not them being because the Desert Raiders aren't like meant to be
Not meant to be Arabic.
Bedouins or like North Africans. They're just like long range desert patrol. They've just got
okay, yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
what the
Shamags.
Shamak, thank you, because they're in the desert. Because
Yeah.
that makes sense. That's the gear you wear, so you don't get burned.
Yeah,
to a crisp.
Oh, do you know what I
It's-
missed from them? I missed their cavalry. They were ace. They had this thing that was like a cross between a horse and a camel. Do you remember?
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, they were a Forge World thing. Yeah, they did them. It was so that you could use the same rules as
Rough Riders.
Those Rough
I
Riders,
remember
yeah.
them.
Yeah, they were
Interesting.
cool.
I remember the weird sort of like dead-looking horses that the Krieg had. I
Yeah.
don't remember the half camel
because
thing.
because I finished.
Gonna have a look now. See
I
if we can find
finished. I finished listening to Caiaphas Cain book 3 like a couple of days ago, and there's some Desert Raiders in that.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
cool.
And then the accent, and you're like, but they don't do anything bad or
Yeah.
anything like that. Like
There's a book we all got given, and I think it's called Inquisitor. And the author in that does a ventrally noble short story,
Yeah.
where they've amalgamated with some Desert Raider. I think it's a Desert Raider tank company,
yeah.
or a Talon tank company, which is really cool. But yeah, I think a lot of those just didn't get done because the intention was to plastify them over time, but then other things happened.
Right. Yeah.
And then you've got like Deathcore Kree with Kill Team. You've got Cadians, obviously, and then we've done the video.
Yeah.
Tanith was a short release because people like the book, so they just do. I'll just do some heroes to appease the masses.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because years ago they did do a metal set where you had like Gaunt and his buddies, and then like a bunch of blisters of like extra Tanith troopers and stuff. But you never know. As time goes on, like more kill teams and
They
things.
were more dinosaur than I remember.
Oh yes, it's like more like a dewback.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. I don't remember them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that though.
It's quite cool, isn't it?
Could you send me that picture?
I certainly can, sir.
It is sexy. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see more stuff like that, like more varied, and also made up cultures as well. Maybe like if you take Knight Templar and Maasai warriors, mix them together as a Space Marine chapter.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Yeah. Because I guess
it's all like different planets with like their own cultures amalgamating together and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's it.
I'd love to see that.
Like I guess
do it.
a risk is like there's no good guys in 40k. It's kind of like the line, isn't it? And then if you were like, this is definitely based on this minority, or they're really bad and they did this war crime, that's like a dangerous road to go.
Well,
down,
I
isn't
think
it?
If it's made up, then you don't. If you put that in your background, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Well,
that's it. Yeah.
well, in the Emperor's Spear book, or Spears the Emperor, way it's written, the book that I've just finished, very good. The Celestial Lions are in that, who all wear gold armor, and they're he's not a chapter master, but he's like one of their high-ranking officers. And because obviously with it being audio, you have to start giving everybody different accents. Their commander of the Celestial Lions has got a very thick African accent, which is quite cool. Because I thought, with it tying into lion, and that's lions, that's where they come from. They come from Africa. I thought it's quite cool. But I did, as I was reading it, I thought, oh, this is so close to skating to potentially upsetting somebody. But I think it's quite cool. I think if I was listening to that and going, oh, there's an accent a bit like my own. That's quite impressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is, but all of the spears are all done with massively thick Russian accents.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Like the
You know, I would have imagined more Greek, like ancient Greece, because of like the trident. I don't know why.
Yeah, but I know what you mean, and I think that when you think of the tridents and all the rest of it, but then when they take their helmets off, they've all got like big blue face paint, which then you start thinking, well, that's a bit Celtic, you know what I mean? And I think, but they've gone with this like big thick Russian accent, which sort of suits them because they're all like massively sarcastic, because they've sort of unlike other Marines where they fight, young men fight for the chance to become a Marine. All of them are kidnapped, just taken from barbarian families, whether they want to let their child go or not. There's no honour in it, they're just taken.
Oh, right.
So they're all sort of like, it wasn't really what I had planned for my life, but I'm just going to have to put up with it. And so they all have this sort of really gallows humour of just accepting the drudgery of just constantly being in a fight, you know what I mean? So they're all really sarcastic, which is quite cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
When the other Marine that comes to join them, well, it comes to investigate, this guy from the Mentors who's like, it's an absolute honour to be a Marine, and you know the chance to become one, and he's like with a load of guys who are like, I'm a Marine, wasn't really my plan. You know what I mean?
I wanted to be a potter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had my eye on a field.
Not today, brother.
Yeah. Take this extra heart and shut
I
up.
think that's Aaron Dembski Bowden.
Yeah.
He wrote that one, and it's really
Brilliant.
it's really good.
Yeah.
It's good because it spends a lot of time. The book seems to be more like a character study of Marines than being an out-and-out war story. It's got a big chunk of war in the middle of it, but it's not really what it's
They're
about.
quite good though, aren't they? Because they add depth. It's like,
Yeah,
that's
and it
why
does.
I like Eisenhorn for that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's more about the machinations of imperial politics and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's the least boring I think I've found Marines.
Oh, that's good.
Because
Yeah.
I find them a bit. I like Marines, but I always said, I always think they're a bit dull if you were to put them on camera because they just talk about war, don't they?
Yeah,
They
well,
don't-
I mean, that's what they're bred for, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
it's like clones. that
And
just
these
talk about
guns are a bit.
shooting,
Well, the thing that's cool in this as well, which is a bit.
Clankers.
They're from quite the planet they're from. Nemeton is like quite. It's very much like it's very much a scattered of islands across a water world. So they're all in like different little tribes, and when they refer to themselves, they still refer to the tribe they're from. But you find out like that one of the tribes, which comes up to quite like a bit of a joke, is that one of the tribes commanders, he's the tribe he's from, they're all cannibals.
Oh,
And there's a bit where they're all like in a room putting their armour on, having their armour put on, and this one comes in. You assume it hasn't long happened to him, and later in the book you find out was extraordinarily handsome. When he comes in, he's got 2 bionic eyes. He's got a permanently fitted Vox box over his face because his face has been literally ripped off in battle. And when he comes in, he's getting his armour on, this tells you exactly what the spear's like. The cannibal one goes to him, whatever his name is, he goes, he said, have you still got the skin of your face? Because obviously he was like, you find out later he was really handsome. Yeah. And he goes, and he's got this box and he's going, why? Are you hungry? Because they're being a cannibal. But they're really, really sarcastic with each other and always on each other's case. I think the idea that they're from all these different little island tribes makes it more that way.
Okay,
but it's a really, 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 really funny book. There's one... You've got all day, but you find out that their thing is because they're quite good craftsmen. They build statues of their fallen brothers, and there's like this one, and it's got a statue.
they're making idols.
Yeah, they do. Well, they don't really massively consider.
Oh dear.
They don't massively consider the imperial rules that much, and so there's this whole.
Coming for them.
I know, yeah.
Sounds a bit like heresy to me.
Well, this one says he says the statue, and it's got like they've all got like sarcastic remarks on the statues. On the statue of this Marine, and it's like he said, brother so and so. He said was told to advance with caution, and he said it was brother so and so was told to advance with caution. He says second company lost a great Marine, but not a great thinker. And behind the statue is just a helmet with a massive hole through the middle of it. So everyone's like complete sarcasm and just like, you know, yeah, it's worth a read. It really is worth a read.
Gallows humour,
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I think good old ADB, he does a wonderful job of like humanizing Marines. I
Yeah,
think. Like,
he does especially in this
Yeah.
book. I was a big fan of it. It just some of the humour amongst them was it really, because for most of the good chunk of the book you only meet one, and then when you meet the rest of them they start to become quite more lifelike, and especially that thing as well. They're a bit they're like space wolves in that the chaplain is also their apothecary.
Oh, right.
So they call them druids. So they lean into
cool.
this sort
I
of.
like that.
Oh, yeah.
so it's some kind of like witchcraft.
It's
Sounds
so like
a bit-
inquisitorial
sounds a bit
investigation
dodgy.
required.
Yeah.
That definitely
Yeah.
sounds like it. Tattoos, druids, idols.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Cannibals.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, you know, you get the blood drinkers, which are the blood angels, but
Yeah.
other blood drinkers as well.
Yes. Yeah.
All those angel guys, they're like
The flesh tearers,
they like to tear a bit of flesh, don't they?
Yeah.
They like to kill
Yeah.
innocents on Gaius Point. Just
Yeah.
chuck that out to you there, Zabobos.
don't mind killing a few sisters of battle a while as well. You know,
team-
don't give them monkeys.
Team Argent Shroud, hashtag Team Argent Shroud. Zabobos always there in the Twitch chat, reminding me that flesh tearers are better. They're not. They're baddies. They're baddies. Look at the design of that. It's like a
Buzzsaw blade.
Buzzsaw blade with a blood drop in the middle. That is not a friendly sign.
No.
Not a friendly sign at all.
It means they get stuff done though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. They definitely do.
Is it good stuff? No.
But it's stuff.
Good stuff.
Speaking of Marines that are potentially a little bit dodgy, should we move on to some of the new releases?
Well, I was going to say before we move on, just to remind people that we do have a Patreon. So if you wanted to watch our stuff early, do check it out. We have a lovely Discord as well. And when we have our guests on, you get the opportunity to ask them questions. And I was thinking about this morning. Maybe we should chuck in questions for us from time to time.
yeah, I think
I
that's
think
a
that's
good
the
shout.
thing.
About
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I should have put questions like for Peachy, Pat, and Jeff.
Yeah.
Who's maybe do
Yeah.
another question show for Christmas, I think. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, we could,
But if anything in the meantime comes up, just
Well,
put
we
it in.
have got a quiz coming up soon. We have Jordan Sorcery coming up in December.
Oh,
and he's going to
fantastic.
do a little quiz for us, and it sounds mega. So
Oh, excellent.
it'll be like my favourite one that he's writing is how many times does Jeff say I was in the military? How many times does Peachy say
Oh my god!
when
Like,
I was in the studio?
yeah, mine would be, I think, yeah. Oh, when I was at a wedding, or I've tried to stop myself saying it because I always
I
used
love
to
it.
go,
I know what you're going to say.
yeah.
Fascinating.
Oh, fascinating. Okay, yeah. So I try and say different words other than, yeah.
You generally say, to be fair, you generally say fascinating for when we have a guest in.
Yeah.
Do you reckon
Yeah.
you're on because I reckon I'm on a rate of like 4 to 5 when I was in the studios per chat. So I reckon that's my rate.
I haven't said the A word today. I'm quite
Wait,
lucky.
what's the A word?
I'm not saying it.
I'm genuinely curious as to what the A word
When I was
is.
in the military army.
Oh, right.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
that, not anal.
Oh, I don't remember. How is it like, you really like concentrate on things?
That's it.
Yeah,
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 I'm so anal when it comes to painting Space Marines.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I got. That's what I got from
Yeah.
that.
That's you're like a military modeler. That tabard on that Black Templar is
Yeah.
the wrong shade.
Don't use the M word. I'm not bringing it up.
So yeah, new releases.
Yeah,
New releases.
yeah,
Some nice
yeah.
Stuff that's got my boat floating.
What's got your boat floating, Mr. Peach?
I made an error in reading recently. I got the new Aranthian successor book for Necromunda. Very nice. The Fall of Yardlin, which is some squats place.
That almost sounded like an Arnold Schwarzenegger word. That didn't it?
Fall of Yardlin. Yard. I'm reading through that at the moment. It's one of the many extra sort of storybooks for Necromunda. It's quite cool. Lots of things are happening, and in it there's because I like enforcers. I like the armor. I've got a few, and there's a vehicle called a Palanite Tauros. I read Taurox, and on stream I started building one of my Tauroxes, giving it wheels or a half track, and then making crew for it, which I've enjoyed and I will use. But released, or at least previewed, was the new Palanite Tauros, which looks a bit like a Ridge Runner, because we were talking about this earlier, weren't we? And it's got Enforcer crew, and it's just a new cool buggy to add to your Imperial Guard, Necromunda,
G-Steel Occult.
Occultists.
Yeah.
So,
But
it's just mega.
But it has, although not quite in this variant, it's been around before, hasn't it? Because it used to be the vehicle of the Elysian drop troops.
Yes, I didn't notice that at first. I just saw like a cool sort of like buggy, and then it wasn't until people started mentioning the Elysian word. I was like, oh, is that the one? I did not realise that.
Which are as much as I understand, if they don't sell, they don't keep making. But it was always such a shame because they were always such a really lovely realised Imperial Guard army. I always liked them.
Bullpup guns, and they like jump from the sky, and they're meant to be like 40k SAS from what I always understood.
I like the idea that there was one I always thought was just a really clever idea was they had a heavy bolter team firing using the crate that the heavy bolter had been in, and then the little repulsors to bring it down to the ground slowly were still connected to the carrying handles. Oh, right. So they'd obviously just opened it, got it out, put it back on the top of it, and just went to work with it. And I really liked that. I thought that's that thing where you feel, because 40k doesn't often really merge into real world sort of thing, but you go the mentality of just going, we'll just use that box as elevated.
You get historical wargamers and military modelers sculpting for Forge World. So they bring a little bit of that to it. So
So I was quite excited when I seen that because my little G-Steel Occult brain went, that looks like it'd be good.
New shiny cars. We like cars.
Because is that for the Ash Wastes?
Ash Waste and any game really.
Yeah.
You can find a way to make a
And
market.
it's plastic as well and not resin.
Yeah, I mean, all
Even
the
better.
vehicles have been plastic so far, so that's good. I mean, obviously they've got like some kits which are resin only or expert kits.
Yes.
But yeah, like all the gang related stuff tends to be very much plastic related, which is good. Which I'm a fan of. So yeah, I foresee making some cool little ATVs for maybe the Tanith, because there's a whole short story where they're on like bikes and little dune buggies fighting against some Chaos Guy because they're protecting convoys. Because you've got the Atlan Jackals and you've got this vehicle now. You could recreate that. I forget what the story's called now.
Quite a good vehicle for the Tanith, isn't it? It feels like their sort of thing, I think.
Yeah, it's good. What about you, Pat? What's got floating your boat?
I think my boat has been thoroughly floated by the Night Lord's kill team.
It's so good.
The Night Lord's upgrade sprue, I guess. They look brilliant.
A mark of respect. I was looking at going, is that a new kit or is that an upgrade kit? And when we were saying, if you're in that mind,
if you've got if you can't figure out whether it's an upgrade kit or a new kit, that's an upgrade sprue doing its job, isn't it?
Yes.
I think the colour scheme helped make it different to the Black Legion as well. So.
Yeah. I feel like I think they're the first, not the first heavy metal Night Lords that I've seen, but in recent, because I think there's one on the back of the Chaos.
They are really, just looking at them now, they really are suitably grim.
Yeah.
There's one with a whopping pair of double claws going on there with a almost looks like he's wearing the half a face of
like
an orc.
Hood thing. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, he's got like a weird evil sort of like rebreather that's got teeth. And I don't think he's got a helmet on there either.
No, he hasn't. No, it's
interesting.
Yeah,
I love
cool.
the skin loincloth. Who doesn't love a skin loincloth?
I really
I nearly wore mine today.
I'm kind of wearing mine now. It's just loose.
Tucked to one side onto your trousers.
Yeah. But yeah, all the flesh capes are really cool. It looks like they've got molded shoulder pads, which is awesome. Some of the backpacks, they've got like the top of an Astartes on like a on a pole.
I'll have to have a look at that. I love the fact one of them's got always a favourite, chainswords on a stick.
Oh yes.
Can't go wrong with a chainsaw on a stick.
He's
that one with the
reach.
He's a beefy boy.
That one with the hood and the helmet is really cool.
Yeah. They just ooze sinister murderers.
I think
terror troops,
because a lot of the loincloths, like the
what do you call them? I've heard someone mentioned on stream. I was like, what was Pat showing last night? What do you call them?
It was This was Eons of Battle calls them this. And apparently my mum was watching when I said it as well, and she had to like hide her face. It was hilarious. So Eons of Battle calls a loincloth a dick towel. And it made me giggle. So these loincloths.
Well, my wife doesn't let me share towels. Do you think that's basically what she's getting at?
maybe. These the loincloths, I think, because they're the same ones that come on the Chaos kit.
Okay.
But it never really occurred to me like, oh, here's a raggedy piece of cloth. You paint it a flesh color, it just looks like a raggedy piece of skin. Like, it's really cool. Like what they've done.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant.
I found that one there with the Astartes because he's obviously got all the plugs in it for the Black Carapace.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor guy. I mean, you could do a cool sort of like kit bash with that, like, as in like going into the armor.
Yeah.
Like the legs of a Space Marine.
That's suitably. I love them. They're suitably grim, which is what they should be for. I love the way they've got extra knives. They seem to be carrying more
All
knives
the
than they need as well. Yeah, they are very, very good.
They're for flaying bodies, aren't they? I suppose. Skin knives.
What was it you said? The ad from the books? Is it skinning pits?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
pits.
Open the skinning pit if you wouldn't mind.
What's the piece of scene? I'm sure there's an ogre or what the ogres are called now. I forget what they're called. More tribes. I'm sure there's a piece of scene that was like a little pit of like meat. I wonder. I bet you could turn that into like some cool like. What we should do. I know we had a comment already going. It's been 7 months. When's the next Necromunda game? I'd love to do like a Necromunda game where we have like a handful of gangers each, and you have one single Night Lord. Just terrorizing the group because there is a.
Yeah, there is one where a Night Lord just goes
Night.
to town,
yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
the Lord of Night. A spaceship crashes,
cool.
and he goes into a hive, and then just. It's not about killing everyone. It's about just. He gets so much enjoyment just from terrorizing people. So he butchers a bunch of people, skins them, leaves a couple alive so they can see and witness it. And it's just about getting that terror. It's just like, oh, I can sleep at night now.
It's really funny. When you were like, it's not about killing people, I just had, like, as soon as he said, it wasn't about killing people, I just imagined a Night Lord hiding in the corner and go, oh, boo! and then running off. And then they're just running away.
Giggling. I got you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Love it.
Right then. So, as well, new Terminators.
Yeah,
They look very nice.
They do.
For the Deathwing.
Yeah, I did. And I'm sure Peachy's rubbing off on me now because every time not literally. Not literally.
Maybe when the lights go off.
But your mentality of now, the minute you look at a model, go, could I change that? I was thinking, could I? I was thinking, is it too much work to turn them into Templar?
No.
To start filing all of the Dark Angel stuff off to turn them into Templar.
Sometimes it's not about filing it off, it's about hiding it with purity seals.
Yeah, maybe it might be the case.
Made out of masking tape, Jeff.
Yeah, masking tape, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, because I was looking at them and thinking, the helmets to them are really, really nice, the new ones. And I was thinking, could we turn them into the Templar Terminators? But they are, I think they're generally really nice, but the helmet's really cool with the studded.
I think you could.
Yeah.
I think you could easily do that.
I think
you got the robe, which you can just is Templar anyway.
Yeah.
Stick some chains on it to hide some details. We just get
Yeah,
some
that's
like
a good
cheap
shout.
jewelry chain from Amazon.
Yeah.
It's like what £1 for like several meters. Or it might have gone up since I last bought some, but you get loads.
Yeah, they're really nice. They're really nice indeed. Yeah, so I've been quite liking them.
Yeah, the Necrons, I was kind of a bit like...
I mean, they look like Necrons.
Yeah, they do.
And there's a few with swirly whirlies going on, which is very cool.
Yeah.
They love a Rubik's Cube.
Because I guess
It's the board's easy.
I think what I was... again, because I'm still on my binge of listening to Warhammer books on the commute or like driving up to see parents and stuff. I finished The Infinite and the Divine, and
It's meant to be very good.
it's exceptional.
Yeah.
And Trazyn is like the guy, and that's who is all the memes are about and all that sort of stuff. But they remade Orican.
Yeah.
Who's kind of like they're not quite as good. Like, you don't really follow Orican as much in the book.
Is he his bodyguard? No.
They're like aren't they like competitors?
I
Aren't
think
they?
there's someone else.
So I would have loved an updated Trazyn the Infinite model because I think he's still fine cast. And Orican was as well, but he's now updated in plastic. So somebody wasn't looking at the memes.
I don't want to diss
but
anybody.
maybe we're just waiting for later.
Don't want to diss anyone's army because obviously you you should always pick an army first because of what you think it looks like. But I just can't tell the difference between one Necron Lord and another. When they bring the new model out, they go, new Necron Lords, and I go, is that not the last one?
Yeah,
is that the last one, or is it the...
I mean,
I struggle with them.
Clearly, Necrons, Marines do well.
Marines are terrible for it.
Yeah, and if you can, because people like Marines, if you can get as many different lieutenant variants and character variants and stuff as you can, then all the power to you and all that. But personally, it would be nice to see some other peripheral stuff. But then if they don't make the money, they don't make the money. And as a business, you gotta make those dollar signs to pay all those reasonable staff wages.
Can never go wrong never go wrong with a raised eyebrow.
So I guess in a way, like they're trying to combat that. There was like, here's a Necron that's half teleporting. That looks a bit different. Or here's a big one.
I mean, all the new stuff, like when Indomitus came out, I really liked. When you got the what the three-legged things called? I remembered them earlier.
I know the thing you mean. Yeah,
I want to say Scorpex, something like that.
Scorpec.
Yeah, I love seeing like new designs and stuff like that. But like clan pack characters are cool. Getting more of those is cool. It gives you more choice, more kit bashing. But sometimes it's like you could put some effort into some of the other factions that could do a little bit more like characters. I mean, Tau could do with some like maybe new ethereals, maybe some new sort of like named characters being thrown in there.
Looking at the
and I'm just to chuck that out there, I am not a Tau fan. I think they're scum, but I think they deserve some love. More things to shoot.
I think looking at the Codex release, because now they've announced the Necron Codex going up for pre-order next week, and also the Adeptus Mechanicus one. It looks like it's going to be a lot like in Ninth, is if your army's not getting an overhaul, you're just getting one new character. There's a bit of a tempt you in sort of thing, because you've got this new Necron Lord. Because I know there's new Necron units that, there's Necron units that still need love, and then you've got Stilty Boy, haven't you, for Adeptus Mechanicus.
Admech, he's coming out.
I like Stilty Boy.
I like Stilty Boy. I think Stilty Boy would have looked better if Stilty Boy was walking.
You know what Stilty Boy is going to be for me? So every model,
a Necromunda model.
Every model's a Necromunda model. He's going to be a Spira. So if you don't know who Spiras are nobles that wear special suits. And
we've got 3 really nice painted ones from.
Oh yeah, yes, we have the Jakarta, the Oris, and the Yeld. I think we have,
which was beautifully painted to look like each of us.
Yeah, they're in a box somewhere. We'd have to get them out and put them into a little cabinet or something. Yeah. So Spiras are like nobles that get like special suits of armor and go down to the Underhive and just murder civilians and people.
Yeah, just like killing the poor.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. It's just an excuse to kill the poor.
Yeah, because there's no foxes left.
Yeah,
and I generally think this is like I don't know this. This is not inner workings like people have told me, but in the new Aranthian Succession book, the main character Hera, 13th daughter of Helmwar, who's like the leader of Necromunda, he gets assassinated. Spoilers. She takes over. She murders most people, and then there's a massive uprising, which is what all these books about. At the very end, she's wearing a what do you call them? A Spira outfit. So I'm like,
hopefully they'll be round the corner then for some.
And I think it was the Malcador version. Memory serves, but
interesting.
But yes, so I mean, that dude could just be like your own made up version of like some kind of like noble in like super awesome outfit with stilts, because he doesn't want to touch the floor.
God,
peasant juices.
That's a good idea.
I tell you who's an interesting model as well. Looking at him here is the interrogated chaplain for Dark Angels as Mudai. With his new model, which has got the weird incense burner smoke that you can have or take off.
I don't know how I feel about the smoke on
that one. But I'm glad they didn't force the issue that you can also field him without it.
I do like when they do that
as well.
Having the option to have like weird swirly whirlies or not weird swirly whirlies is a big big bonus for me, because you can make it look cool, and it's great for like, you know, the exhibition painters flexing their skills and doing some cool effects, and like people like me are just like, I can't be bothered with that.
I think he looks better with the hood up, because I think that's very Dark Angel.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, if anybody ever ends up getting rid of it, I want the unhooded chaplain helmet for him is really, really nice.
Yeah, because I mean, he's traditionally got the hood up for the old metal figure.
Yeah, he
hasn't
has. Yeah.
So the one thing that confused me about this model, and
was it you got turned on by looking at it?
no, that wasn't confusing at all.
Right, we accepted that.
Yeah, I am who I am. I'm 34 now, you know.
Why does an age make a difference? But fine.
Well, it's like when you're younger, you're old dog, you know.
Oh yeah. You know what you know. You know what you like.
Yeah.
You're settled into your vibe.
And he likes he likes his swells.
He likes his swells.
No, I think I'm anti-swirl.
You're anti.
I think I'm anti-swirl.
The Celestin Prime, I prefer it without the swirls. If you don't know who the Celestin Prime is, he's like a big character for the Stormcast. It looks cool, the swirls. Prefer it not to have the swirls.
Yeah.
But
I do think, though, it is cool, like you're right, that they're now getting to the point where they're going, we know special effects aren't everyone's bag. I think that's quite good that they give the option for him.
It says here he's a master of repentance and everything, and he's got his sword through.
Is that he's a master of apologising?
Yeah, that's the Dark Angel's master of repentance.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think we found out the Dark Angels are actually British.
Yeah, he's got his sword through the head of a. What do they call the Dark Angels that have gone?
Right.
Fallen is the Fallen.
Yeah. So, well, actually, now that I've done a little bit of reading, I'm no longer confused because I looked at the model and he's got his sword through a fallen head. And I was like, I thought the lion when he came back was like, you guys are risen now.
Yeah, I thought he'd give them all a free pass.
Yes, that's it. But apparently, some Fallen are beyond the redemption offered by Lionel Johnson, and he performs that job with unsuppressed zeal.
I see.
But he'd have to really, because otherwise you'd have to lose the term interrogator in chaplain, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Or because he'd be out of a job.
Yeah, he would be.
Yeah.
Maybe he's ignoring the line and just doing it anyway.
So this is it.
Trying to justify his own existence.
So he'd be on Space Marine Dole.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, have you tried being a bin man, Asmodee? Or what, trying to get
I don't know what his
him a
interrogation
job.
techniques are like. Is it like cake or death?
Yeah.
Cake or death?
I'll
cake,
have
please?
the chicken, please. He's maybe so like I guess what I found confusing was I thought the Fallen weren't a thing anymore. So was they go, but they've got around it by saying, no, some of them are beyond saving.
Yeah.
So maybe,
because they're still talking about potentially rules for them having rules turn up in the chaos.
Yeah, well, Cypher's he could be on either side, really.
Yeah.
And also, just to let you know, Cake is the name of his sword. So.
Cake. Would you like cake or death? So it's like, would you like stabbing or punching to death?
Cake or death.
Don't make me go and get the gatto.
Yeah.
That's a big axe.
Is that like a chainsaw on a stick?
Oh, dear me. It's like, I mean, I know that these have been made, everything's made so well in advance.
Over 18 months.
Yeah,
really,
so do you think that guy was like, oh yeah, he interrogates the Fallen, and then someone in like the story studio went, whatever
the wordy
it's called.
guys.
Yeah, the wordsmiths went, no, the Fallen are good now, and they're like, shit.
Yeah, I mean, that is probably quite accurate, because when I was in the studio, when I was in books and box games, you wouldn't know what people are sculpted on until it was time to really show you what has been put in the pipeline.
Yeah.
So then you'd know what's been put in the pipeline, and the writers would have to start like fudging that into stories and like going. Yeah. Sometimes it'd be like, we're going to do a new race. This is what's going to happen. We need to, and then you get like project leads that will go down and work on it. But sometimes you just get models coming up, and you're like, we'll have to fudge that into the book somehow.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me that like they wrote that story thread, and then this guy comes out, and they're like, oh, how do we do that now? Because he's stabbing the Fallen, which we said are pardoned.
Yes.
Sorry for that movement. I won't ever do that again.
It's just stabbing. What else could it possibly be?
Just stabbing. Hello, darling. But yeah, so I mean that is quite true. That has happened many times, and you know, there's been like models that have come up, and I'm just like, I've got to try and jimmy that into the story somehow. I don't know how we're going to do that. And other times it's like, cool, I've been looking for a hook to try and get this story going, and that's a perfect model to do it. So sometimes it's beneficial, sometimes it's a bit of a ball ache for the writers, but that would probably
be a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I looked at it and I was like, and I was a bit, I guess but I thought they were good now.
Yeah,
but not all of them.
Not all of them,
because this model needs to exist.
Yeah,
which I guess is
because I think that's what happened to a certain degree with the Gathering Storm books. Was you'd have what did you have? You had Gulliman. And then some Imperial characters, and then you had the Ynnari, which was Yvraine, the Vizark, and then the Inead, I think it was called. And I was like, so we've got some Eldar, weird dudes. We got Gulliman, cool, and some other dudes.
Yeah.
Like, how do we make a story out of these? Obviously, there was a lot of stuff going off behind the scenes that I wouldn't have known of as well. So I'm sure some of this was all linked and chatted about downstairs, but having to jimmy some Eldar helping out the Imperial was fun,
because there's loads of, again, I think the majority of my 40k lore that isn't through Black Library books. I just learned from memes and
because it's very easy to learn them.
and
a lot quicker than a book.
We need to start a new channel called Meme Lore.
Meme Lore.
Meme Lore.
And everyone talks about Gilliman and Yvraine. And how they've got like a secret relationship and
well, because didn't it take Eldar to wake him up, didn't it?
Yeah. She is a random warrior that starts off in the arena. Well, at least the book. You start off in the arena and she's fighting the arena, and she gets murdered by Lilith Hesperex, and then resurrected by some crone lady or something like that. And then that's when the Yniad, because it's like when you're Eldar, when you die, you basically get tortured by Slanesh.
Slanesh,
so
that's why they have the stones,
they
right?
have the stones,
or the gems.
in that. Whereas Inead is kind of the god of death. And he's just like, no, it's fine, I'll resurrect you. If you die now, you die normally. You don't go to Slanesh. It's okay. You're not going to get horror molested in someone's belly, which is kind of what Slanesh does.
There was, in Kane Book 3, there's a Slanesh cult. And how they're like described, and he meets a demon that comes through the warp and this, that, and the other, and he's met her before, and it's all just like, and all like weirdly sexual. But then there's Khorne followers as well, and they're fighting because Khorne and Slanesh hate each other. And then the Imperial Guard are just like, well, let's not waste the ammunition and we'll just mop up what's left.
Let them fight it out.
It's great.
Because the thing with Khorne is, it's not just about fighting and murder, it's about like warrior prowess and stuff, and like the opposite of that, which is Slash, which is like, we like to spend the evenings, with each other, and we also like to prune our hair and make ourselves look really good. We've got loads of acrylics on our fingernails right now. So I mean, obviously they're also about like other things like vanity and stuff.
Oh, you'd never be sure to work if you're Emperor's Children barber, would you?
No. But talking about Slash, it's reminded me of an Instagram post I saw yesterday from Adrian Smith. I didn't realise he'd done them. At least I think he's done them, because there's loads of old art from like Rogue Trader and stuff. And there's a piece, and I think it's in the Realm of Chaos book, but it's in a Slanesh piece, and there's like a 40k, and there's like a Slanesh Marine, and it's got a handle, and like it looks like a penis. It's just like, so he's like really holding it, but it's right near his groin, and it's like, oh god, that's so badly. And then you look, and like all the towers are penises, and you're like, oh my god. So,
is this just like phallic imagery 101?
Yeah. This is like, this is Slanesh. I mean, obviously people argue, it's like, no, it's not all about the sex. It's like, no, but that's where they went with straight away. It's hedonistic, isn't it? Not just like pride and vanity and all the other things.
You've mentioned on here many times, my bestie Tim, when he was he got given the job of starting to build some scenery for one of the Warhammer days, and for Games Day, and he went, it's going to be for Slanesh versus so and so fantasy scenery.
God, I hope this is not Chris Bones.
And he started building the scenery, and they come back and went, what are you doing? And he went, well, isn't it going to be like a bit that's all been Slaneshified? And he was going, and he was going, do you know children go, we can't have a woman's breast on the side of a building? He was really apparently leaning into it way too far.
At least you don't have like a round gate.
Yeah. I just think of like Slaanesh, like a Slaanesh city architecture would be like, well, there's two small buildings and then there's one big building in the middle, that's it.
Yeah.
Don't think about it. It's fine.
Yeah, we've got the Citadel Tower and the two domes.
Yeah. You'd be like, we really liked from Earth's history the Millennium Dome in London, so we put them in pairs all around.
And we put Big Ben in the middle. Or the Gherkin would be probably more.
That's exactly what I imagine Slaanesh to do. Just like, I really like that in Earth's history.
Yeah. You'd be like, look at all
I always
these.
think with Slaanesh, though, to be fair, and I know they do it with fantasy, and I know it's probably harder to do with the Marines, but as I think in fantasy, they've started to lean into the whole bit of a lot of them, like that. They got like one of their leaders is like massively overweight.
Yeah.
Because the idea
Well,
is
it's the gluttony.
it's
Yeah.
excess.
Yeah.
I know it always generally everyone does the Slaanesh.
easy. It's easy to do the
sleazy
sex
wink,
bit.
but in actual
Yeah.
fact, it could be a whole range of other things of excess.
I've
Doesn't
just
it? You know what I mean?
thought of another like knockoff.
Marine that really loves Greg's.
Yeah. And he's called Greg.
I was just thinking we could
I'm
make,
sure this armor wasn't less tight last week.
yeah. Oh dear. We should make like Sim City Slaanesh edition. That'd be amazing.
I call it Sin City.
Sin City Slaanesh. Yeah, the return of Slaanesh.
Slaanesh.
Dear.
If you
Oh,
played
dear.
Skylines, you can just flood it all. Just,
Yeah.
don't flood it with Slaanesh juices.
That's
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
If your Slaanesh City isn't sexy enough, a tsunami comes through.
Some people may remember some of the Slaanesh army stuff I used to have in the store cabinet, and I'm not going to talk about that, but I did go a bit too far.
One of my favourite pieces of Adrian Smith art was, do you remember the Slaanesh Marine he did that just had like almost like black gems for eyes, doesn't it? And its mouth was round.
Is that the coloured one?
Oh, yeah,
and it's got
that's
the big
noise marine.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It's like just like really horrible, like spider eyes almost.
Yeah,
They're just like
Yeah.
dead orbs.
yeah, and they're like
Horrid.
really
Yeah.
pallid, and it's just big weird mouth. He did it, all of his Chaos Marines that Adrian did were great. He did a fantastic Plague Marine as well. He had the big metal, like when they do the metal ribbon over cabling.
Yeah.
And he had one of them coming up his neck, and it's shouting. And when its mouth's open, you can still see the cabling behind it. It's
great.
like
Nice,
running right
yeah.
the way up into the back of its head. Oh, it's really, he's brilliant.
The Emperor's Children characters for Heresy. I think they're Forge World. They're
Yeah.
like resin. I think they're really cool. I
Yeah,
think
they are.
awesome.
They're really good.
Yeah.
I love the idea of like the long blonde hair and all the rest of it. It's
Yeah,
really quite
yeah.
cool. Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. It's like, you have that kind of like beautiful sort of looking fair, but you can tell they're
You can
very
see how they
foul.
ended up in Slaanesh,
Yeah,
can't you?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
the
you're
fact
like,
that they because
yeah.
when in the early days of Horus Heresy, weren't the Emperor's Children, weren't they the only ones gifted to wear the Aquila?
Yeah.
They got to have the eagle on
That's
their
why they're
chest,
called
but
the
no one
Emperor's
else
Children.
did.
And they're all very cocky and
Yeah.
yeah,
Right. You're right. Yeah.
because it's my favourite Legion. Because I love the colour of like that deep magenta getting to purple with gold. I think they just it looks really nice.
Yeah.
I've always liked that colour
Very
scheme.
royal.
Yeah, absolutely. And like seeing the Imperial Eagle on there with the claw and stuff, that's really cool. But they are it's about warrior prowess, like being the best you can be. But then obviously when chaos gets in there, it becomes a bit more like goes to the full end of like arrogance.
Arrogance and vanity.
Yeah, toxic behaviour and just like I'm going to paint this canvas with poop and blood and other juices. So, oh no.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I like.
Not a future patent video idea. Well, QMC's only down the road. They might lend us stuff.
Yeah. I was going to say A&E's only just down the road. If anything bad happens, too much blood. Because that was interesting in the Kane book with the Slaaneshi cults and stuff, and like there's an Inquisitor that because Kane is like, I think he's like retired or whatever, and he's reading them kind of like from his point of view, but then there's an Inquisitor who's like allowing you to read it, but also does like editor's notes and stuff like that.
I remember this. Yeah.
And she's really badass, and like her and Kane have like a bit of a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like that it's alluded to.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I always sleep with a gun under my pillow, and she goes, I can attest to this, even when he's in like really safe spaces, implying like they're getting a freak on. But anyway, yeah, they were saying like, oh yeah, the people that in slashy cults, she's like, oh, it's quite frequently like planetary leaders in the aristocracy that like they want to experience something new because they're rich and they get bored, and people live for so long because they just get rejuvenation and this, that, and the other. And it's like, oh, I want to try. Maybe let's experiment a bit. Oops, chaos. Yeah, it's really interesting. How, like,
Slippery slope.
yeah, like the Imperium have a job on their hands. Yeah,
There's everything in it. The enemy within, the enemy without.
Yeah.
It's just they're everywhere.
chaos everywhere.
Chaos.
At least with
aliens.
orcs, they're just like charge.
Yeah. You see, orcs,
No way you stand with an orc.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've become quite fond of orcs since doing our. Obviously,
Yeah, because you were never a green skinned man, were you?
I've done enough over the years, and I just like. I like the stories, I like the models. I just can't be bothered to paint the figures. And we did that little kill team, which probably won't be out when this is out, but well, it might be. I don't know. I'm not quite sure the release date of that one, but I enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
Of all the orc clans, Blood Axes have always been my favourite, and I think it's because they take the military sort of side of it a bit too far. They don't get camo. They just think it makes you invisible. So they don't understand that it needs to match the colour of the background.
The environment.
Yeah. They like having humans around because it makes them feel like a bit more prestigious, especially if it's like a big high-ranking officer. They like the medals.
Do you know, I don't know. I think there's some nationalities out there, when I've seen some of their camouflage, they don't quite understand how it works either.
Yeah, I've seen Street Fighter where they and Bison's camo red in like the Mayan temples. Good job, man. Good job. Yeah,
Just a cool uniform, isn't it?
Yeah. Still need to do like a bad guy army based off that.
Well, going back to the original subject of
miniatures,
previews, them fellas.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not, as everyone probably knows, I'm not an Age of Sigmar guy, but this new miniature of Azhoran, who are we going with?
Oh, Azoran. Yeah, he's like one of the vampire lords of old.
The miniature is absolutely stunning. It's absolutely amazing. I was just stunned by how nice it is.
A lot of nice Flesh Eater Court stuff coming out because you've got the Warcry kill team, you've got like some of the characters. It's nice to.
Well, the guy we seen the other week who was wearing a series of intestines as a judge's wig was pretty special.
Do you know much about the background of these guys?
No, not at all.
They're based off like in Old World. There was ghouls and there was like several different vampire lords, bloodlines.
Yeah,
and Azoran was the one that got a bit degenerate and started becoming a bit cannibalistic, which is where the ghouls came from. I think that's right. Correct me in the comments if it is Azoran. I'm sure it is because you had like I forget the name of the one. There's the Larmian one, Neferata. There's the wizardy ones, which are called the Necrarchs. Forget who was in charge of them. And then there was the Blood Knights. There was like a vampire in charge of those. I want to say Wallach. I'm probably getting that wrong. But there was like a bunch of different bloodlines, and they all had the different vibes, and like aesthetics. And then when Age of Sigmar hit, they made a faction out of the ghouls and became the Flesh Eater Courts. But what I really like about the Flesh Eater Courts is they think they're knights. So in their head, they're so deranged, they think they're sitting around a feasting table. The Lord thinks he's a king, and he's like, oh, my fellow warriors, and they're all sat around a table like drinking goblets. But when the reality of like, you can imagine like a captive like Free Guild commander's like, what is going on? They're just like eating half-eaten people. They're like drinking from like half children's skulls and stuff like that. Oh god! Because what they're seeing is delusional. They think they're like knightly.
Well, fully enough, they've got these new miniatures. Are they? I assume they're new. Are they the Morhag Knights?
Yes. Yeah.
Which they're carrying all the gear as though they're actually knights, but they're actually riding around on the backs of big bats.
I think it was a bit of a meme to attack Bretonian players because they basically was like, you still got Bretonians. This is them. Yeah. In their head, they think they're Bretonians pretty much. So
really, really nice range of stuff.
Yeah, I love them for that. And they're just really gnarly looking, like undead.
Varghulf courtiers, which are this weird looking big. Long-limbed demon ghouls. Yeah,
Varghulf was one of the. It was a resin kit for a time, so it's nice to see a plastic.
Yeah,
kit.
It's a really, really nice range. To be fair to them, they again, Age of Sigmar, imagination just seems to be able to run riot.
Yeah, I think the models.
They've got some really, really lovely.
I do
stuff.
love the name Varghulf. Is it Varghulf?
Varghulf. Yeah.
So Wolf.
Yeah,
Wolf,
yeah.
wolf.
Yeah.
Unlike the Varg skier, which is wolf yogurt.
Like ski yogurts.
Yeah, I don't know if that's actually true. I'm just making that up.
And,
But that's what we used to call it in the studio. Was that when Curse City came out? I was like, yes, it's the wolf yogurt.
the new Cruel Boys for Underworld as
I
well.
do like them. Yeah, I
Yeah,
need to
they're
get
really
those.
cool, yeah.
Because I did my Cruel Boy Commander for my Hobgrot Slitter Warcry warband, and I now want to do some extra Cruel Boys for it. And that's just like a perfect little warband to do that
I
with.
think
so.
possibly my favourite in that, actually, of all of them, might be The Musician.
What
It's
does
a
it remind me what it
real-
looks like? I can't remember what it looks like. Oh yeah, he's got a big horn. He's
He certainly has.
got the one that Boff Bomber blows, similar to that one in The Hobbit. They all come charging out.
I think they look cool. Yeah, they
Oh,
you know,
are
I think of being suitably orky, but also having their own slant, which the Cruel Boys, I think, do really well.
You see, Cruel Boys and Iron Jaws are the orcs that excite me the most, weirdly. I've not painted any. I've painted some Cruel Boys. I've not painted any of the Iron Jaws. I know you've got a bunch, Pat, that you're probably going to end up like
doing something with
doing
eventually.
something with. But yeah, of all
maybe.
the orc greenskins I've ever experienced in my years, they're the ones that I like, especially the Cruel Boys, because they feel like old Middle Earth coming into early Warhammer kind of orcs.
Yeah, because they're not that shape, are they? Not the big bulk
Yeah,
shape of
I
orcs,
do
are they? They're
like
a bit
them
more
for that.
lithe.
Yeah, more like a Lord of the Rings orc kind of thing.
Oh, D&D,
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like it definitely feels like early sort of Marauder Citadel style orcs.
Yeah.
Just like, modernized, which I really like. Especially with all the weird monsters they have, like all the swamp beasts and Troggoths, swamp crawler Troggoths, what they're called, and
Yeah.
things. It's just some really nice aesthetics to like the mouldy orcs.
Yeah.
Well, I generally don't take too much notice of Horus Heresy, but the Mark 6 jump pack Marines, I think, are quite nice. I think they've done a reasonable job with them as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So more bits for your Age of Darkness boxes coming out, so
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
so
I'm quite indifferent about it, really. I sort of look at them and go, yeah.
Jetpacks are nice, though. They've got a nice sort of retro thing going on with them. I like
thing
them
is,
all right.
this is not to like, I probably dismissed Horus Heresy earlier a bit too much, but if you're really into that, then this is great because you've got like so much stuff now for like your Horus Heresy hobby. I mean, I love Napoleonics. People aren't necessarily massively chuffed by Napoleonics, and it's the same. Some people really love Horus Heresy and like painting every legion, every company marking, every sort of like type of unit, and then the characters from the books that they love and adore. So that's cool that you're getting all these extra gubbins to do that.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And possibly the last thing I would say, that sort of this lovely new skeleton dragon that we have, the Necrolith Bone Dragon, is really, really cool. They've done a really good
And is
job.
that
with
old
as well.
world? Is it? Is that shown
That's for the old world, yeah. So it's what would have been. They used to be called Kimry, was it?
Kenry.
Yeah, but really nice. And really, of all the things that are really cool on it, I was most taken with was the skeleton, was the very ill-looking cat.
Yeah.
Skeleton
cat.
half skeleton. Well, it just looks like
Or mummified cat, maybe.
looks
Maybe
like something like Paul O'Grady would be getting upset about at one point in time. Bless him, when he used to live. Yeah, it's
R.I.P.
It's
Yeah.
Paulie. Looks to say the
Yeah.
Was Paul O'Grady dead?
Paul O'Grady
Yeah.
passed away. Yeah, he passed away.
fairly recently.
Yeah.
A few
Oh, no.
months.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That saddens me greatly.
Yeah.
yeah, he was a cool guy. Really
Because
cool
Paul
guy.
O'Grady, what was his drag?
Lily Savage.
Lily
Lily
Savage,
Savage. Yeah. Because I remember, there was like a game show that
Yes, I can't
he
remember what it
did
was
in
now, yeah.
drag.
Blankety blank.
Yes,
Yeah.
blankety blank. Yeah.
I always remember when I was reading. I remember a story about him. I read that after he passed away. We were talking about that when people weren't quite sure how serious or how much of a worry the HIV virus was in the 80s. The police started massively going to town on breaking up gay clubs or drag acts and things like that because they didn't know, trying to defend them, but they didn't understand how much of a health issue it was going to be to the greater public. And the police came in one night and raided one where Lily Savage was on stage, and he came all in wearing rubber gloves. And she said on stage, she said, I like the gloves you wear to do the washing up, right? And got dragged off stage and was arrested with along with other people that were arrested. And when they got her to the station, she said, what's your name? And she said, Lily Savage. He went, no, your real name. And she said, sorry, Lily Mary Savage.
Oh, great.
So a lot
Amazing.
of time for Paul O'Grady.
Yeah, that's really good.
Brilliant.
One thing about this dragon thing,
Yes.
skeleton dragon thing. I know that we've poked fun at proud to be part of the team who knew someone who was sat in the room that made the model. I saw someone I follow on Instagram, like a GW sculptor, and they said, "Oh, I sculpted like this bit of it." So it was.
What was the bit? What was the bit?
Well, I can't
That
I
skeleton
can't.
cat.
Yeah, well, I think it was, say, like the throne bit at the top, for example. But they didn't. It wasn't one person that sculpted the whole thing, so they were
Part of the
quite
team.
literally proud to be part of the
Well, I
team.
think that the fact it comes with two completely different versions of riders, and you've got the one where it's the sort of chap looking like he's riding the looks like it's almost part of a chariot, and then the other one, which I think is so massively interestingly diverse compared to the other one, I really liked as well.
Yeah, I mean, I foresee a lot of this going to the Ossiarch Bone Reapers, maybe even like Neferata's undead stuff as well.
But it's a really lovely model. It really, really is. They've done a lot of it.
It's good
I know
to see
because
more stuff.
it's cool because I know they've said, haven't they? I don't know whether they're going to do it with them as much as the Bretonians, but they're a real hybrid of things that have been around for a while, aren't they? And then brand new things. And you think, when they said, "Oh, we're going to bring back some of the old kits," like the I don't know the right name for them, but basically the Pegasus Knights for.
Pegasus Knights.
Oh, well, there
Bretonians,
we go.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Which are
Nice and simple, right? Because they're knights and Pegasus.
Well, they're quite an old kit,
Yeah,
aren't they? And
yeah.
the fact that they brought them back, and I was a bit things that have been around a while. Bearing in mind you're restarting it, but in their defence, the things that they're bringing out that are new are really good.
Well, even then,
it's
like
a lovely balance.
the Pegasus Knights, the Men at Arms, the Knights of the Realm, which could be used as Knights Errant as well, are not terrible kits.
No.
If you look at like the Empire State Troops, the Empire Free Guild, and the Great Swords, they're around about the similar kind of time anyway. So from a sculpting point of view, and they were in range just recently until they got put into made to order because of all the new Cities of Sigma stuff coming. So they're still not as old as the Catachan Jungle Fighters.
Somewhere there's an Eldar player shouting "Warp Spider" at the screen.
Yeah, they're not plastic. But maybe one day soon. Maybe one day soon for the Warp Spiders.
Yeah. Warp Spiders might get their 10 in the sun through Kill Team. You never know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they look like.
Warp Spiders.
Yeah.
It's just like jump pack Eldar, aren't they?
Yeah,
but they don't jump as such.
It's like a phase in, phase out. So if you imagine Dark Reapers, but with like more stuff on their back, like slightly different, because they have like a web spinner gun, they have like this big sort of beetle shell kind of like back thing. They're cool. Just like
so they warp
phase in and out.
They warp in and out of space.
Right.
We once had a Saturday game for Games Workshop Derby called Warp Spider-Man. And it was just one on the tabletop moving from building to building. Just it was great. We used to find like names of movies and then decide what the game's going to be. So there was Conan the Librarian.
Amazing. Yeah.
So like, well, I need a space marine that's a librarian called Conan.
Excellent.
And then Tau in Inferno.
Oh,
that was one as well.
Very good. Very good.
It used to be our funnest game was like on the weekend, like Saturday morning train was like, right, we need a name for the game next Saturday. Come up with some ideas, and then during lunchtime, people were like looking at like films that they've been watching or like books they've been reading.
Yeah.
It was always good fun to do that. I miss those days, making up those little posters.
One about a rich noble who works at the top end, and then a very poor man who works at the bottom end, and you could have Warlord Titanic.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
I loved that you groaned, but I still found myself really amusing.
I mean, that's what dads do. It's what dads do.
Yeah.
It's strong dad energy right
See,
there.
I was trying to think of like, what's a film name? But then, I don't know. I'm looking around. I'm like, I've got War Master, Chaos Space Marines, Angron. I don't know. And then I was trying to think of but so
I've not done it for a long time, so my name game's like not so good. I mean, recently I did some moderns for Spectre Games. He sent me a couple of Steve May sent me a couple of modern day troopers, which was nightmare to paint the camo on those guys.
Yeah, I seen them on the Instagram page. I thought they looked great.
Yeah, so I kept the camo to a minimum because I did Desert. I literally looked at Call of Duty. I looked at Captain Price and then some of the guys around him.
Yeah.
And I tried to mimic that. And then a couple of them are just in like olive.
Yeah.
So I did like some olive trousers, some olive jackets, doing like beige sort of like chest rigs and all the extra bits and bobs. And then I was like, I have to do some camo because in this image you've got Captain Price who's got like desert camo, and I did it. And when I start highlighting, because I wanted to make a bit of an effort for him, it was like the highlights look like camo. So this is the danger. If you go too much, it just becomes a blur. So you have to really make it stand out. So I enjoyed doing it, but it's hard doing camo, and making moderns look modern is tough. But I called that clearing President Danger, my post.
Yes.
Some people don't get it because they're not seeing it, but I was just like, yeah, I don't care. I get it.
I think
it was like a Harrison Ford film.
Clearing President
Jack,
Danger.
Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
Jack Ryan character.
And then there's Patriot Games with Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is great.
Classic.
But there was what was the other thing I was going to do? Oh, yeah. One of my favourite, I just remembered one of my favourite Saturday games as well was a game called President Evil. And we had an Imperial Guard like governor who turned evil. And there's like a load of zombies and stuff like that involved. It was just like, this is President Evil. And unfortunately,
once you've got the name, the game basically writes itself.
Well,
exactly.
I mean,
yeah, that's how you do it.
You wouldn't even have to change, like, what is it? Knights of the Last Crusade? Is it? What's the Indiana Jones film?
Oh yeah, Last Crusade.
The Last
Crusade.
You could do like Chaos, Knights of the Last Crusade.
Of the Black Crusade.
Yeah,
So you could do
the last Black Crusade.
I mean, that Indiana Jones film, because it has Crusade in it, that's any 40k done.
But yeah, I mean, I think we tried it where you'd come up with a game, then scratch your head for a name, and it was just like just a bit like but we were scraping the barrel one summertime, and then it ended up like doing 40 days and 40 nights, and I was like, these knights have been fighting for 40 days and there's 40 of them. You got to come and help them out.
Well, at least you weren't doing knights that have been fighting for 9.5 weeks. That's a whole different story.
You could be like Demon Princess Bride.
Oh.
You see, you're getting it now. You're getting it.
I'm getting it. I'm just looking at the product that's behind you and being like, Demon Princess Bride.
You can't have Kill Team America though. That just wouldn't work.
It
just wouldn't work.
No. I mean, the game we played at school when we were young and stupid was changing a word like that, but to try and turn a normal film into
an adult film,
an adult parody film.
Yeah.
Like, you mean, like, what was the one from Friends? Was it Shaving Ryan's Privates?
Yeah. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Why would you want to even watch a video about that? It just seems so dull. I mean, you might get some tips. For
It's an instructional video.
On what not to do.
You know, I like to think I'm a thorough barber, but I generally don't go past the neckline. I can do, but it's going to cost.
Can you trim around my belly button?
I can do, but it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Oh, dearie me. Right, we've gone off the deep end. I think we should probably stop.
Yes, possibly.
Well, we had a good chat about minis of all ilks and sizes.
Yeah.
If you come up, though, with any good 40k names for games based around movies, put them in the comments. It'd be nice to see what people come up with.
And also ideas for Megadeth squad kill.
Death team squad match.
And anyone that wants to make those miniatures as well, just contact us.
And we'll get straight on the phone to Alf.
I love the idea of different pop out backdrops though. Smart.
Could be cool.
Yeah.
I tell you what, anyone that's listened all the way through this today, they've persevered, haven't they?
Yeah, you've done well. Good job. Good job. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're the last viewer. That would really help.
If you're the last viewer.
If you're the last
viewer, turn out the lights.
Close the door before you go. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you to our patrons coming on the screen right now. There you are. You're all lovely people.
Oh, he's especially a good guy.
Yeah, and that one there. Look, that guy there. Might have Andrew Gibson twice as well at some point. You might see him twice there. There's a few that are twice.
I think
he's. He still will always be Andrew Gibson. But I think he might just be Andrew Gibson.
I introduced him when we did the 1-to-1. I was like, oh, it's Andrew Gibson.
Lovely chap.
Absolutely. Yeah, seen his face. Know what he looks like. We're done. I think that's it. We're done now.
Thank you very much.
Love you all.
Bye.
That's the way to full stop. And cut.
I might leave that